Selamun alaikum.
Here's how you turn an audience of viewers into buyers without taking any sales calls. Listen, I was supposed to film some cool intro for this video, but my mind is quite frankly fried because I've been working all day. So we're just not going to do that. Because what am I going to do? Sit here and retention hack you into watching my video? Over the last 2 years, I've worked with experts such as Oscar Patel, Jake Tran, and Sam Warren to build them audiences of buyers. I've scaled the world's #1 health community on school to more than $78,000 a month in 3 months, won the school games, won a cool trophy, and today help info and service-based businesses scale to 7 figures a year, not to flex. Now, first of all, we actually need to go through the concept of niching down because I need to explain to you why niching down is actually absolutely fucking horrible. Look at this big circle. Most people say, I don't want this big circle. I want to niche down. I want to have a small circle because I like to have a piece of a cake and not the entire cake for whatever fucking reason. And they call this niching down. Now, the problem is with niching down is that you're basically talking to people who are pre-sold to your solution, although that is not how social media works. When you want to build an audience of viewers, you will not have a niche audience. You can target them with ads or something, but if you're an organic, social media is built to target as many people as possible and keep them on the platform for as long as possible. And it's going to prioritize that type of content. So niche content is not going to work unless you're going to put your money into ads. It can work, but it would take years instead of months to get the same amount of buyers. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to target the audience that contains the niche, because that is easier. We still get the same niche, plus we get thousands of other people who we can then turn from viewers into buyers. And that is the concept that I want to show to you today, because most people think, I need to niche down in order to make good sales. No, you fucking don't. Alex Ramosi just sold 3 million books and made $100 million with a book that he called $100 million money models. The irony in that is so insane. And you know what's even more ironic is that this man who told you to niche down actually has the broadest audience in the entire market of online business, because he understands the concept that I'm about to show you now. And for that, you must understand that in order to convert somebody from a viewer into a niche buyer, what you need to do is actually to build trust with them. Because if we are going to convert somebody into a niche buyer, you must understand that people buy at different levels of trust. Let's say that somebody has been hurt before. If you've ever tried to date a girl whose heart was broken before, you're gonna have a hard fucking life and a hard fucking time. And that is because it's very hard to gain her trust. She might need 80% of trust in order to trust you fully, and some other girl might need 50% trust in order to trust you fully. And the same is in business. If you've been burnt before, you bought a course, the course was bad, you will need to have 90% trust in order to trust somebody and make a sale. Other people may only need 60%, and others may be completely naive and just buy right from the get-go, or just have too much money to spend and then they're gonna buy at 30%. That is what you call the Trust Barometer. This is not my concept, by the way. I stole this concept from Paul Daly. He's a great man. He's worked with Iman Ghazi. He was his former CEO. Let's say that somebody, on average, will need 70% in order to buy from you. Now, building that trust can be built with sales calls or without sales calls. And a lot of people have ugly, bloated sales teams of 20 to 30 sales reps and then say, oh, I've built systems. No. You've ruined your life. So I'm going to show you how to do it differently. You see, let's take sales and yet let's take marketing. Marketing is actually the second way in order to build trust with somebody without a sales call. That is how you turn a viewer into a buyer. So the way to do that is if you say, hey, I hate my life and I'm going to build all the trust through a sales rep all the way from 0 to 70%. And you can do that. That is definitely possible. I've seen a lot of people make incredible money with that. I've even seen Charlie Morgan, for example. He has an incredible sales team. He has incredible systems with sales teams and everything. He has so many sales reps and he's really fucking good at what he does. Matter of fact, he may even be greater at building sales teams than building marketing, and that is why it works so well for him. But if that would work well for you, you wouldn't click on a video that says how to turn a viewer into a buyer without sales calls. So this video is for you, because the second option is actually to not build all the trust through sales calls. You can do that. You launch an ad, launch a cold ad, and then have amazing sales reps, and that can definitely work. But the problem is that you will need to put a lot into ads, and your profit margins will be horrible unless you're Charlie Morgan. Now, the second way to do that is actually to build a lot of trust through marketing. That is through content. So let's say that we build around 50% trust through marketing. Now, the great thing is that marketing means content. We can have one piece of content that builds trust trust with millions of people at a time. One sales rep can only talk to one person at a time. So that is why this works so well, and that is why it is so easy to convert an audience of viewers into buyers. A product of zero cost of replication. You upload a video once, millions of people can see it, and it is replicated on millions of screens at a time if you have a good video. Once you have that, now your sales rep doesn't actually need to fill in all 70%, but only the remaining 20%, and the marketing did the 50% from the beginning on. That is what you call pre-selling somebody into your offer before they ever hop on a call with you, before they ever go on a landing page. And that is how you make sales nowadays. Iman Gadzhi does it very well. Andrew Tate did it very well. Even Charlie Morgan does it in a way by giving us so much value. But he would not build 50% trust through marketing, but maybe 20 or 30%. His main focus is actually to get leads. And that is why if you look at his landing page, his VSL will start immediately with, hey, I'm going to get you X amount of appointments or X amount of clients, or else I will not only pay you your money back, but I will also give you $5,000 back on your bank account if you fail to achieve that goal after paying me. That is because he doesn't have enough trust to get people on a sales call without giving them such an amazing offer and such an amazing guarantee. So that is a very clear indicator that he is not building trust through marketing. He's building trust through his offer, through his sales, through his VSL, through his sales reps. That is how he sells. That's okay, but that's not why we're here. So the second way is to build trust through marketing, as I explained. Now, when we want to build trust through marketing, there are multiple ways. One of it is to build associations, and the second way is to change their paradigm. First thing is actually quite simple, and it is the easiest way. It is actually the easiest way, and you can do it as a byproduct. You don't need to launch any new strategy or anything. Building associations comes down to one thing, and that is to stop being a funnel. Charlie Morgan, with all due respect, is a funnel. And he does that very well because he doesn't care about showing his personality online. And this works, but you don't need to do that. Matter of fact, you can do it much better. You can do it by being a person. I want to tell you a story. You see, Russel Brunson is the owner and founder of ClickFunnels, one of the co-founders of ClickFunnels. And the way he would sell ClickFunnels in the beginning was he would have huge presentations in front of thousands and thousands of people every single time in huge halls. And he would be on stage and make these presentations and sell packages of $1,000 to people so that they would get ClickFunnels for a certain amount of time. Plus, they would get a program on how to use it, and they would get all his books and everything. And then all of that they would get all together just for $1,000, which worked incredibly well. On one certain day, his presentations worked incredibly well, and he only understood it when he talked to the customers that bought his product. You see, this man stood on stage and told a story about the miscarriage that his wife had a couple of months ago. The entire audience went silent, and he thought that he's not going to make any sales at all because it was kind of confusing. It was completely off topic. When he was done with his presentation and he pitched his product, he gave them a value stack, he gave them the offer, he gave them everything. An incredible amount of people stood up in order to go to his sales reps to buy his product. And the reason why is actually incredible. When he went back into the room in order to talk to the people who were buying his product, in order to find out why so many people stood up, he found out that a majority of the people who bought his product were women who had miscarriages, were pregnant, or wanted to have a child. That is because they could associate themselves with Russel Brunson. So how do we apply that to you? Let me give you the example of Iman Gadzhi. Iman Gadzhi does this very well. He actually has a lot of associations that he has built with people. Let's take every single association that this guy has online, which is old money, retiring your mom, dating, SMMA, and now he also has info. So there will be people who will find him because they have an association towards info, and some people have an association towards SMMA. Now, if I'm somebody who is only interested in SMMA, I might buy a product from Iman. If I'm interested only in info, I might also just buy a product by Iman. But here's the thing. If I'm somebody who is interested in SMMA and my heart was just broken, and I always want to retire my mom because I grew up in a single mother household, and I also love to dress old money, then I will actually associate myself with Iman a lot, and I will therefore build trust with him. That is how we work as human beings. This has actually been used perfectly by Iman, and you should do that as well. You are a personality, and you should use everything in your power. You should not only be a funnel and tell people, this is how you make 10K a month. This is how you get clients. This is how you turn viewers into buyers. But you should actually have more videos, like for example my videos, like for example saying that the lonely chapter is not real, or me saying that success is not tied to struggle, and that you have been fooled into thinking that you need to work hard in order to be successful, which is true, but I'm actually explaining something which is called the bottleneck principle, telling people success is not defined by hard work. Hard work is one factor in order to get to success, but not the only factor. And if you neglect the others, you will work in vain and you will feel horrible and burn out, and that is why so many people in our age burn out. Those are associations that people build with me. Anti-grind culture, untying struggle to success, and you want to have that too. You might be jacked, you might have a lot of experience in dating, you might be really interested in watches, you might be really interested in traveling. Don't be a funnel if you have a offer on TikTok clipping to only be known for TikTok clipping, because that's gonna be boring as hell and people will not buy from you. If everybody online is making videos about TikTok clipping, they have no reason to buy from you because you look the exact same way as everybody else. Plus, you will be forgotten once TikTok clipping is forgotten and people are looking for the next best thing. Getting to the most powerful weapon that I've ever used in marketing, which is actually the reason why I was able to win the school games, was able to scale my clients to $125,000 a month for 3 months, and the reason why people work with me. And that is because I pre-sell people's audiences before they ever got on a landing page or ever get on a sales call. It's insane that I even show this to you. Like, it is insane. It is insane. What I call this is indoctrination. It's one step of 4 steps that I take in order to turn businesses into client magnets. And indoctrination actually comes down to one thing, and that is to take the beliefs that hold them back right now, eliminate them, and then indoctrinate them with new beliefs that empower them to buy your product or to buy into your solution. Mangazi did this very well too, but we'll come to that in just a moment. Let's say that somebody says, I can't buy right now, whether you're on a sales call or whether you're doing whatever. If they say that, you're gonna think, okay, why does that person not buy from me? There will be 3 types of beliefs that hold them back from buying from you. That could be internal, external, domain-based. An internal belief that is holding them back basically tells them, I am internally prevented from using the thing that you have. If I'm going to tell you, hey, you can get on social media and do personal branding, you're going to think, no, I'm literally socially awkward. I am internally flawed. An external flaw could be, I work too much and I have way too much work on my plate right now and I'm not able to record videos because I don't have enough time. An external force is preventing me, and that external force is work. Then there is domain-based. Domain-based is basically, I think your solution sucks. And you want to pre-handle all those objections before people ever get onto a landing page or a sales call so that you can turn a viewer into a buyer. That is the most effective way in order to market on social media without sounding salesy. Literally the strongest, most powerful way I've ever used. It sounds dark because you're literally changing somebody's beliefs, and it probably is dark. But we're here to make money, aren't we? So listen up. The way that you're going to do this is actually quite simple. It's divided into 2 steps. The first one is to collect the limiting beliefs, and the second one is to eliminate the limiting beliefs. If you're just going to guess what limiting beliefs somebody has, that's not going to work. So you need to collect them. Whatever sales process you have right now, literally whatever it may be, even if you have none right now, I'm going to show you how to properly build a system. There are 2 ways in order to collect beliefs so that we can then eliminate them. One of it is actually the most direct way, which is sales calls, and the other one is actually through type forms. If somebody is going to answer your questions, whether it's on a sales call or type form, or even any questionnaire, actually, it's not a type form, it's any questionnaire. Even if you have a questionnaire on your Instagram story, that can work too. Sales calls means, what are their objections? Why did somebody not buy? Right? So you just find out, all right, what was the main reason why somebody didn't buy? Was it because they didn't have money? Probably not. What was the actual smokescreen that held them back? What are the most common reasons why somebody doesn't buy from you? What are the most common objections that you need to handle? What are the most common limiting beliefs that somebody has that you need to eliminate in order to get them over the buying line? Whether it's on a VSL or whether it's in any sales process or a sales call. Those most common objections and those most common limiting beliefs need to be collected so that they can later on be reused. And the same is with questionnaires. You want to ask the right questions. You want to use Instagram and YouTube and all of that to find out why people don't buy from you. Literally, go through your Instagram DMs, your Instagram comments, your YouTube comments, and every single source of information, and use AI. Don't waste your time, but use AI in order to go through all the transcripts of your sales calls that you have. If you don't have any yet, prepare yourself and be sure that you collect all the data. If you have all the data from your YouTube comments, from your Instagram DMs, from your Instagram comments, and from your sales calls transcripts, and you know what the most common reasons are why people do not believe in your solution, this is the material that we work with right now, and that is what we eliminate. Now, what do we do now? Once we have these beliefs collected, the limiting beliefs or objections, same thing, we go over into step 2. Eliminate these beliefs, also called indoctrination. Now, the way that you do it is you collect all these beliefs, let's say all internal, all external, and all domain-based, and you now create objection handling content. Objection handling content is a content that handles the objection. Crazy, right? You take a reel, for example. I said do it. Let's take an Instagram story. This can be applied to any type of content. Let's say that the most common belief is, I hate client acquisition because I hate sales calls and I don't want to have sales calls. I would make a video that is called how to turn viewers into buyers without sales calls. Anyways, what we do now is we collect these beliefs and we create content that addresses the objections or the beliefs. And that could be in the form of anything. That could be an Instagram Q&A. That is something that we use incredibly well. It could also be an Instagram sequence. It could also be a reel. It could also be a YouTube video. If I'm gonna have a YouTube agency and I'm gonna tell somebody, hey, I wanna work with you, and he's gonna tell me, hey, I would love to have you edit my YouTube videos, but I really don't wanna have that because I just wanna have my own in-house team and I work with my own in-house employees. Then I'll make a YouTube video, if that happens too often, that says why you shouldn't have a team of in-house editors. And then I'll name them all the reasons, so again, they are pre-sold once they hop on a call with me. Now, the easiest way to use YouTube videos, reels, Q&As, and sequences is actually to use past results plus to use stories. Stories are incredibly powerful, as you know. Let's take the results path and let's take the stories part. Results are actually quite simple. Pick example with same objection, show results of example. Wait, so you don't have enough time for my solution? That's completely fair. We just had somebody who only had like 1 to 2 hours free every single day because he's just working all day and he has children and he has all of his stuff that he's got to work on and he has his business and he just doesn't have enough time. Matter of fact, what's funny is with our solution, we actually don't need to add things to your daily routine in order to make you lose weight. We need to remove things and change things, because if you live the way you are supposed to live and live healthier, it is going to work properly. You don't need to cook too much. You don't need to spend too much time. You actually need to remove and to change and not add things to your routine. I'm not going to force you to go through your hour-long routine every single morning. It's going to be shorter. It's going to be better because he did it as well. He did it as well. He achieved it as well. He achieved it as well. He achieved it as well. Once it gets into quantity, what we call this is actually the Johnson effect. The Johnson effect is basically that if you think that everybody else does it, it must be right. When I was in door-to-door, I would always I would also always go to the door in door-to-door sales, basically knock on their door and say, hey, yeah, we're running this program right now. And everybody around here is actually running the exact same program. Everybody here is donating some money to this charity and all of that. And then they were just way more keen to buy, because if everybody else does it, it would be weird to not do it as well. So that's how you do it. Collect as many results as possible. Let's say that you don't have any results yet, or you do have results, but you just don't have any results that can prove that this objection that they have or the limiting belief that they have is completely obsolete. That is by telling a story. And it's actually quite simple. It's by giving them a big claim. Then you give them the external problems. I'll explain in just a moment. After that, you give them the epiphany, the aha moment. The fourth one is the solution, and the fifth one is results. So you see that we can actually bind the results into the stories as well. I would actually recommend you to do this, but you can use any results. It doesn't need to be client results. It could be your own. What this is okay, the objection is, I don't have enough time in a day. And you say, okay, great. My solution doesn't require a lot of time. That is the big claim. Matter of fact, my solution only requires an hour a day, 5 days a week, right? And somebody says, all right, that's interesting. And the external problems come. The external problems that I usually name you. Oh, I wake up in the morning, it's so dreadful, and then I don't have enough time, and yada, yada, yada. And you name them these exact problems that your prospects tell you. Hey, I woke up every single morning, and it was so fucking tough because every single time that I woke up, I didn't have any time. My children were nagging me. My wife was nagging me. I didn't have any time, and I wasn't able to take the time in order to look out for my own health, right? I felt horrible. Every single day that I woke up, I just felt like I was stressed immediately, and I didn't even have the time to think. And I didn't understand how I should fit anything in my routine. But all of that actually stopped once I had the epiphany, the aha moment. The aha moment was that I realized I don't need to add things to my routine. I only need to remove things to my routine. And I found that out in some study that I read because some friend of mine sent it to me, and I thought, all right, I'll try the solution. So I thought I would remove all the things to my routine, and I would try to remove all these unhealthy habits instead of adding healthy habits. And believe it or not, actually lost 20 pounds in X amount of time frame. That is how you tell a story that is supposed to eliminate somebody's beliefs. You do it every single in time that you want to eliminate somebody's beliefs. The greatest thing to do this is to mix both of them. Tell a story, use the story of a client, and tell their results. These stories can be as long as you want and as short as you want. It could be an Instagram reel that could be 60 seconds, but it could also be 30 minutes long or 20 minutes long. And you just tell that story. If you want to make it 20 minutes long, you'll just spend more time describing the external problems and the solution and also the results. And then at the end of that, you can pitch them your offer if you want to, right? You can mix this with an offer right at the end, telling them, hey, these are the results. So if you want the same results, click on the link in my description. So click here, do that, do this, do that. Actually, wouldn't do that too often. We don't do that at all when we do these epiphany stories. The market is incredibly tired, and this is like the best advice that I can give you. People hate being sold to, but they love to go shopping, right? They love to go shopping because when you go shopping, you have a feeling that you are making your own decision because it's just so intriguing, that product that you saw in that window, that you wanted to walk into that store. But if a sales rep steps in front of me, it feels like he is trying to force me into buying. And every single time that you confront them with call to actions every single day, they actually buy less and not more. But you need to give it some time, like a month or two, and things will pick up, and you will realize that, holy fuck, if I manage to build intrigue with people without them actually realizing that I'm selling them something right now, that makes me a lot of money. And yeah, that's how we made fuck ton of money, won the school games, etc., etc. The video is over, but I'm going to be honest, there's actually a full breakdown of how I applied this to one of my clients who scaled to 6 figures a month within 3 months. It was amazing, and we're breaking down the entire strategy. We break down so much of the strategy that if you click on the video, you will actually see that the video is unlisted. It is not public on YouTube, and that is because I don't want to leak my client's strategy to my client's competitors, because then all of us make less money. And the amount of value in that is just too insane to leak it to our competition just now. Maybe I'll release it in like a year. But if you want to watch the video now, the link will be up here or up here. I don't know. But I appreciate your time, and I'm really glad that I could help you today. Bye-bye.